I am so glad you are here. I am Liz. It's Wednesday, May 27th, 2026, and this is It Is Alive. Let's talk about what's happening here at the store. So excited for you guys to be here. We've got some amazing things coming up. I'm getting my last little bits of tech done for you guys. Start with what are we drinking? What are we wearing? What are we drinking? Nothing. I have not had time to grab anything. Started my day with a little black tea, but I'll make a nice brew later. But I thought I'd show you guys these guys today. Aren't these guys beautiful? I've got some tiger's eye, and this lapis over here is gorgeous. And then on my pinkies, I've got a quartz that's been diamond cut, and this little lovely lotus. Fabulous sterling silver jewelry. And I know I keep harping on it, but I want to make sure you guys know sterling silver for our jewelry makers has tripled in cost. So I'm watching prices gradually rise as they're getting ready to have to use that kind of cost on their end. So a lot of the silver jewelry we have in hasn't been affected by those prices yet, but it's coming. And I am seeing our sterling silver jewelry going a little faster than normal right now, probably because I keep telling you guys it's going to skyrocket in price. So word to the wise, if you're coming in for silver and you like it, buy it now. Honest advice. And then I've also got this gorgeous little prayer bead, this mala on today. Now, malas were the inspiration, supposedly, for rosaries that became popular as prayer beads in Europe. This is from India, and it is also a prayer bead proposition here. There's 108 beads and what's called the master bead, the bead that sort of ties it all together. So you count your prayers by grabbing one bead past the master bead, saying the prayer, grabbing the next bead, saying the prayer, grab the next bead, until you make it all the way back around to the master bead. So the master bead's there so you know where you started. So it's not super confusing. This one happens to be made with Rudraksha seeds. Did I say that right? Rudraksha seeds. I always mess that one up. I don't know why, but there you go. So they were supposedly, I brought in our little card so I could let you guys know, they came from the teardrops of Lord Shiva. Isn't that gorgeous? It happened when he opened his eyes after many years of penance. So it depicts the fact that he did something that he needed to make amends for, that he needed to fix, basically. He needed to understand it was the wrong decision. And those are the tears that came after that period. They fell on the earth from his eyes and gave birth to the Rudraksha trees. And the seeds themselves, which is what these are, the red pieces, they've just got little golden colored metal caps on either end. They symbolize wisdom and the free. He learned his lesson. He's a better person for it. That's what these beads symbolize. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that about these seeds. That's what am I drinking? What am I wearing? What on earth is going on here? I do have an exciting announcement at the end of this little section about what's happening and what's going on, but let's start with the basics. So it's May 27th right now. Friday at 6, when the store shuts down, we're going to be doing a full moon ritual. I'm always very excited for those. They're always a load of fun. It's just a free event. We just do full moon. The next day, Saturday, May 30th, at noon, the Alliance Coven is having basically their 102 class, their Dedicans class. If you are looking for a group you might want to join, this is a good group to come and check out, but the class is closed. So what you want to do if you want to meet them is come by when it's scheduled to be finished at around 2 o'clock. Get here a little early, maybe browse the shelves a little, but then you can meet the folks that are involved in the group. There are 3 amazing teachers in that group. Highly recommend you check them out. If you're looking for some sort of Wiccan or pagan flavored group to potentially join that really tries to take things like gender fluidity and sexuality into account in how they practice. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm saying they're trying. Your input might be just what they need. I don't know. And of course, I should also mention Herb One. We went for the herb walk yesterday. We really just circled a couple blocks, not even a couple blocks, kind of like we went out the back of the shop. Went down the alley. Why do I always start? And I always start in the alley. I can't resist starting in the alley because it's not as weeded as the front of any block. So we get to see some very cool plants. There was some lady's thumb back there, which is a polygonatum or a knotweed. There was a form of verbena back there, which you might know here as vervain. It wasn't the vervain that we sell. It was not that verbena, but it's a related species. And it has been subbed in on occasion. So that's kind of cool. We talked a lot about the herbs that you can just find even in this urban area. And also about the fact that this might not be the very bestest place to harvest from, but at the same time, it's here. And sometimes something's better than nothing, really depends on where it's growing. So we just go over some of the basics, plants that will grow here and will grow under really difficult circumstances. It's actually a fantastic, it's supposed to take an hour. I think it took an hour and a quarter. Apologies for the students, but it was so much fun to talk about those plants. We went around the co-op, actually. We went down our alley, up and down that block, crossed the street, went past the co-op because they have some beautiful plantings, went behind and around them, up to the front of their store and saw a few more beautiful things. And then we were done. It was not exhausting at all, but it was so much fun. Herb 3 is tonight. The herb studies program in the third year is tonight. We are going to have a fantastic time. I'm really looking forward to meeting up with those folks again. Moving on, though, I should also say, if you want to join one of these classes, definitely do it from the beginning of year 1. That'll open up again in the fall. It's always a blast. We meet once a week for 1 to 2 hours, depending on the subject, and it goes for about 9 months. There's a little slush in there. It's really meant to go for 36 weeks, and there's usually a 5th day of a month, 5th Tuesday or 5th Wednesday of the month every once in a while. That gives us our snow days, and if we have to bleed into June, so be it. That's okay with me. Saturday next month, the 6th. I can't believe it's almost June already. Again, Alliance Coven will be here, so your chance to meet them if you're interested in maybe joining their Seekers class when that starts up, just to check them out, shake a hand, say hi, have a little conversation. That's going to be at 2 when they're finishing up their closed Dedicants class. 3 p.m., Eshu will be teaching his American Folk Magic class. That has been a blast, and he's really found a new fire for all of these projects. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that one goes. Really recommend him as a reader and as a teacher. He's wonderful. And the next day, Sunday, June 7th, we will be starting the first installment of a 20 to 30 minute little event for kids of all ages, and it's story time. So I've always felt that guided meditations are really stories for grown-ups. That's story time for adults. You're supposed to chill out and enjoy what's being told to you, kind of let your mind go. Story time for little kids is exactly the same thing. So if you want to come, even if you're a grown-up, feel free to stop in, grab a seat, grab a yoga mat and sit on the floor if you want to, and just have a good time. Jamie will be here, and she'll read a couple stories from our kids section, which I love some of the stuff we have in right now. So it's going to be so much fun. This is a buy donation event, basically, and it'll be a blast. You can come. If you've got really squirrely kids, feel free to sit in with them, but count on about 20 minutes of time to potentially go and shop without the kiddo, if that's something that your kid can handle. The next week on Sunday, June 14th, I will be out of town. Sorry, I won't be here, but next installment of Tea and Tarot is coming up. That has been a blast. Folks have loved it. We've had one of our readers teaching the first 2, but it's going to be a group effort among several readers. So Margaret, who only reads for 3 hours with us a week on Saturdays, she is a delight. She's a very good, very experienced reader. She's coming in and doing this next Tea and Tarot. It's going to be a blast. I highly recommend it. And again, at 3, we'll have story time because that's Sunday. I haven't had this confirmed yet, but it's possible Sarah Cure will be here that same Sunday right after story time for a little trunk show and a little opportunity to get a mini chakra reading. So she is really good at this. She is having a wonderful time with it. I highly recommend. She is out of the country most of the year, so take advantage of her presence when she's here and come and sign up for her event. It should be going up online as soon as I have a confirmation of it. We're just working out the last details. The following Sunday, the 21st of June, yep, that day, the solstice ish. I haven't looked up exactly when the astrological stuff is happening. At noon, we'll have Reiki 1. So if you want to start your Reiki journey, come and join us. It's always a good time. It's a couple hours of class, the attunements, which are one-on-one, and then an hour or two of practice time, really depending on how many people there are to practice on. It's always a good time. It's just a beautiful practice. If you've never done Reiki, I would recommend getting a Reiki session from any Reiki practitioner. You can, of course, book appointments here because we've got two, count them, two Reiki masters here, because I just did a Reiki 3rd degree class and it was for the person who is here who just got his Reiki 3rd. That's Raven Wolf, one of our fabulous teachers and tarot readers. He's going to be amazing as a Reiki practitioner. Definitely check him out. Of course, at 3, story time. And then at 4, Jessica Settergren's chronic illness and cancer support group. So if you are on that journey of heightened medical care, this is a place you can come and be who you are. You can be the pagan you are or the ceremonialist you are. You can be the off the beaten path religious person that you are and get tips and tricks about how to handle that with the chaplain you might be dealing with in the medical facility that you might be using, or how to do that ritual when you have zero energy because you've just been through some kind of treatment and it has sapped all your strength, saving your life, hooray, but has, taken your energy completely so that you can deal with your illness and you just don't have a lot of energy for that upcoming Sabbath, for that full moon, for the magical rite you want to do, the spell you want to perform. She will have tips and tricks for you. She's really good. You can check out her book as well. That is a book that is based on her experiences going through cancer, and of course the maintenance process for that really never ends. So she is a joy to behold. She is just such a delightful person to deal with. If you have a chronic illness and you've been thinking about stopping in, do come in for that. That is always very cool. Let's talk about the readers and then get on to some cool stuff. So when are the readers here? I've already mentioned 2 of them. I've mentioned 3, Eshu, Margaret, and Ravenwolf. All excellent tarot readers. Eshu also does very good palm readings. I'd recommend him for those too. And today, Wednesday, is Eshu's day to be here for the whole day. It is always delightful to have him here. He'll be here for half the day tomorrow from noon to 3 on Thursday. And he'll be followed up by Ravenwolf, another excellent tarot reader, from 3 to 6. Ravenwolf also comes in from 1 to 4 on Fridays. And he's followed then by Daryl from 4 to 6. Eshu is in on Saturdays from noon to 3, the first half of our Saturdays of hours of operation. And Margaret follows him up. As I said, she only comes in once a week for 3 hours. This is Saturdays, 3 to 6. Come and get a reading from her. Eshu will be with us all day on Sunday, which is always a fun time. Monday, we have Daryl from noon to 2 doing his oracle card readings. If you have not seen his oracle deck that he designed himself, it's a treat just to get the tour, and that's completely free. He will give you a tour of the deck completely free. It's fantastic. His readings are beautifully accurate, and he doesn't always understand how accurate they are as he's going through them. So he's very good. Morpheus comes in on Mondays at 2 when Daryl is done to offer dream interpretation. Really good at this process. He will walk you through what your dream might mean, including if it doesn't fit what you've looked up online or found in some book somewhere. He can help you sort that out. He's really good at that. Daryl and Ravenwolf read on Tuesdays. Ravenwolf is here from noon to 3. Daryl with his oracle deck is here from 3 to 6. And that brings me back to today, Wednesday, when Eshu will be here doing his palmistry and tarot card readings. They're all wonderful. They all have to pass auditions on every modality they offer. I know Eshu right now is getting ready to audition the rune reading process. It will be great when he's got that added on, but he's really going gangbusters right now with so many things. It's amazing to watch him. He's becoming a real powerhouse. It's delightful. But that's the readers. So let's get on to some cool stuff, shall we? Well, first, I want to let you guys know all of our ornaments are back. I brought one in here to show you. It's got 3 stones, a charm, a spell, and instructions on the inside the tag. I only brought in Attracting Abundance. We've got 7 of these little guys. There's one for Amplifying Intuition. There's one for Happy Homes. Great addendum to a housewarming gift, or if you just want to get a little something for a housewarming, that's a perfect thing to get. There is one that helps with sobriety and helps celebrate the sobriety someone has achieved. Make a great gift, for a little gift for somebody who's maybe hit their 1-year mark or their 5-year mark, just to celebrate what they've been through, where they've been, and how they're progressing. It's beautiful, but it also helps folks starting out on that journey. Everyone has 3 stones that are associated with the goal in mind. Again, there's a little spell in here and some instructions. It's great to hang over your windshield. It's great to hang near your doorway, somewhere you'll see it pretty regularly, to help keep you centered on whatever that goal is, whether it's happiness, relationships, finances. We've got 7 kinds, so come check those out. Next thing I have to show you are things that came in yesterday from probably Daryl, our fabulous Oracle card reader. I have 2 styles of rune sets to show you. He has started making the bags himself. You'll notice there are some runes on it. They say Alu, which is ale. So one of the first written words in the runic language, in the runic alphabet. And so these are rune sets made with clay. They have been coated, but they do, I will not lie, for a little while, they're going to give off a little bit of clay dust. They're gorgeous little sets. Everyone is slightly different. And I've got 3 of these in the leather bags. Close that guy up. But I also have 2 that might look a little more fun. Looks like a little bunny rabbit. Because this is rabbit. It's dyed rabbit. And it's reinforced on the inside with some standard leather just to keep it firm enough that you're comfortable with it. That's what he thought was the best choice. And you get this guy open, and then you get to see the runes are basically matching. So I've got a green one, and I've got this hot pink one with the reddish pink runes. They look more pink here than they do on camera from what I'm seeing. Again, made of clay. So if you're looking for a natural product for your rune set, this is a really good choice. They are adorable. All of his rune sets are set at the same price. We've carried resin runes and clay runes from him. So they're all $50 for the full set, which is actually a really good price for a handmade rune set. If you've ever tried to make a set of runes yourself, it's a little bit of a laborious process. It does take some time and a little skill, I won't lie. So sort of neon green or hot pink, so definitely fun. The other item that he brought in, and I brought 2 examples back here, are these little adorable guys. Ready for your spell work, ready for your hat pin, ready for you to do whatever you need to do, whether it is blessing them with a little oil, surrounding them with things that you want to bless them with, or if it's something a little more firm about your boundaries. We've got you covered. These are also 40, by the way, handmade little dolls, little voodoo dolls. Fantastic. The other one that I didn't bring back is black. And they all, each of those colors have their own meaning, their own significance for what you might want to use them for. There are traditional significances, and you're welcome to look those up. But you can also go, this feels like the perfect thing for what I'm doing. This is the color I want. That will be even more effective than you necessarily following something traditional. So heartily recommend these. They're squishy. They're ready for you. You could even theoretically open up the stitching and stuff this with some herbs or other bits and pieces, little stones, things like that that you want in there. But use them wisely. They're here for you. We also recently got in a whole slew of used books, most of them on astrology. So there's some fun stuff in here. Where did those little pamphlets go? Here we go. Well, they're not really pamphlets. They're a little bigger. They're like saddle stapled booklets. So little paper things. Astrocartographies here. And these aren't bad. These will be upstairs. You'll be able to find these little booklets. I mean, it's worth $15. So it's got a $15 price on it. This one made me giggle because you know how you always see, if you're looking at traditional magic systems, you will see Manly P. Hall. His name will come up over and over again. This person knew a thing. Manly Palmer Hall. Thank you very much. I love that they put the middle name in. But this is his essay on astrology and reincarnation. Again, $18 is what it's worth. So that's what we've got it marked at. A little bit under what you would pay online, basically, especially once you add in shipping. The other little one we got in here by Tracy Marks is Turning Oppositions into Conjunctions. I think that's a great idea. It's a little saddle stapled book. Good God, not only is it saddle stapled, look at that type font on there. I love that. Totally looks like it was done with somebody's typewriter. Old-timey, basically. I think it's adorable. Some of the other bits and bobs we've gotten in, and this is not all of them, it's just some of them, but these with the little bookmarks, they are downstairs. They are up on abe.com, so you can go there to order them, or you can come in and request them. If you see, we did have that happen recently. Someone came in for a Crowley book I talked about here. We sold it to them for the price without any shipping because they were in the store and just took it off of our listings on abe.com. But here is an astrological study of psychological complexes. So if you are interested in the interaction of psychology and astrology, it is, yeah, you can kind of see here, there are highlighted passages, which if the person who did it was clever, will be really helpful. If they were not, you can ignore them. But here's this one. And online, this one's going for 85 and up, a little over 85 and up. So we've got this one marked at 85. There's also Schulman's volume 4 of his series, Karmic Astrology, The Karma of the Now. What else did we grab? Holistic Astrology, The Analysis of Inner and Outer Environments. This is by Till. Somebody in the comments tell me, because I have no idea. I've seen this name for years and years and years and never really known how to pronounce it, nor what he actually looked like. Look, there's a picture. I love that. But yeah, there was a period of time where he was it in astrological writings. I saw his works again and again and again on every shelf I looked at. Maybe with a few others. There was a duo of women who wrote a whole series of books about the same time that I loved. Did not love their housing system, but loved their approach. So I thought their books were worth it, even though I would not use their housing system, which was an even housing system. It ignored the fact that houses are not always the same size. And I just prefer that slightly more realistic approach. Manly P. Hall again, The Philosophy of Astrology. This one's going, again, it's up online, but it's only 25. So it's just barely over that line that we draw for what can come up and be sold on the floor and what's going to stay downstairs and get listed. So it's not bad. Oh, another classic, Dame Rudyard. Again, tell me how to say these guys. Astrological Aspects, a Process-Oriented Approach. Fantastic little tome on astrology. It's only 28. Now, we did get a few things that were not astrology. So we got, for example, Tarot Shadow Work. So this is helping you use some of the scarier symbolism in tarot to work through issues you have, negative aspects that you want to help bring into the light so you can work through them, move past them, stop getting trapped in behaviors that don't help you. That's what this one's all about. I think it's a great perspective on tarot to take a look at if you've been reading for a little while. Not only do I think it would help the person with their own problems if they read the book, but if you're doing readings for others, I think it gives you a very different approach to those scary cards for those people. So they're not frightened, but really feel empowered to handle whatever their issue is. Now, when I was taught to do tarot readings, that there are no bad cards. There are only poor interpretations of those cards. This doesn't mean that there are no scary cards. There are scary cards. The Tower is a scary card. There's no getting away from that. That's, I don't really want to see the bad thing. Ooh, where did I go? That was interesting. It's not a bad thing to get these scary looking cards. It's something to focus on, something to work on, something to be aware of. That's the approach of this book, which I think is fantastic. We also got, and I'm surprised at this one at its current value, but In a Graveyard at Midnight by Edane McCoy. She has been a prolific writer, mostly at Llewellyn Publishing. It's just where I've seen all of her work come out of. She spent years and years and years writing all of these amazing books, just on and on with these books. So totally worth a look. Some of the other things we got on, the rest is all really astrology, as I recall. And I know that Liz, I know I'm Liz, but there's another Liz. The other Liz was very excited about a few of these books and really wanted me to show specific ones off, but that was over a week ago and I don't remember. And she wasn't here when I started. She's here now, but she doesn't want to be on camera. Shh, don't tell. But there's a whole bunch of fun things that came in. Liz Green's work, Relating, is here. The Teaching and Study Guide by Noel Tyl. This is actually a really interesting little collection. If you want to teach astrology, it's not a bad manual to start off. Synastry is another book that really people have adored and loved through the decades. It's by Ronald Davison. Barely listable. It's $20. Totally worth grabbing because there's plenty of copies out there. So they're tending to go for like 20 to 30 plus shipping, basically. Well, probably 25. I will say though, this book owner, an underliner, definitely. The Essentials of Astrological Analysis came in. The Astrology of Transformation came in. Sometimes you love them just for the covers and things. That aged, like that Synastry, that purple one, that's just a fun cover. And it's not something that would get designed today. So it's kind of just fun sometimes to see those old ones. What is this one? Oh, the Modern Textbook of Astrology. I'm curious. When was the Modern Textbook of Astrology published? This is what I want to know. Okay, this is a reprint from 1971, but the actual text was written before 1951, which is when the original publication, the first edition, came out. So this one is, it's dedicated to Carter, Charles E.O. Carter. Definitely a name I've seen on these shelves of astrological tomes. It's by Margaret E. Hone. So, and of course, then we got in, what else? The Astrological Chart of the United States from 1776 to 2141. The entries get short near the end, but we could not resist, so I thought I'd share with you. 1900. Who is this by the way? Gar Often. So tell me if this was last year to you. 2017 to 18. Okay. 2025 through 2026 is how he's done it. So tell me if this is kind of where you're at, if this has been accurate for you. Progressed contact, or where you think the United States is at. Progressed contact, the sun squares Mars. I buy that. This marked a period of serious international dispute and confrontation in the Madison, Polk, and Theodore Roosevelt administrations. So he's going back in history and making comparisons so that he's not just relying on what the chart's telling him, he's also relying on what's happened historically when this has come up in the past. At this time, there will be considerable military activity and important pressures on the chief of state. There was a health problem in several past administrations, yet it will also be a time of invention and advances in communications. Could that be AI? A future president will be born. Well, that's optimistic. It says we'll still be here enough for somebody to become president at least 35 years from now. That's kind of cool that we'll still have presidents and we'll still be here. The emphasis is upon the executive and on the controlling party. Wow. It will be a time of enormous budgets. Again, wow, pretty good. So that's what he said for 25-26. Now there's a longer entry for 24, for a longer intro as we get, this chapter goes from 2024 to 2055. But yeah, it goes on from there for every year until you get all the way out to 2141. Fun book, probably worth a few laughs, as well as some good astrological study. It's a little on the spendier side. It's a little more rare as a copy, but you got to admit that tiny little paragraph that was for right now, pretty spot on. Now, it's a small paragraph. There's not a lot of detail. I get it if you're an astrology skeptic, but that's pretty amazing. I'd say he did a pretty good job. So that's some of the stuff that I have brought in. It's also the what are we wearing and drinking and all of those lovely things. And I wish I had a ton more time to get into a topic, but I have one more announcement about upcoming events for you guys that I think is super important. Where's my little sheet? Very excited about this. This isn't coming till October. You have time to plan. It's on a Thursday night when we close up. The duo Black Willow Starling will be here. They do pagan folk music. They're very good. They're doing a Midwest tour, and they'll be stopping with us for one evening on a Thursday. $15 a ticket, 75-minute set. It's a good deal. We'll be having it here. I will be basically making the sales floor empty. So the things, if you do shop with us regularly, the stuff that normally sits in the middle of the floor, as well as that beautiful lawyer's bookcase that holds the tarot sets, they will all be pushed aside and rearranged to make as much room as possible in here. But if we oversell tickets, I am already looking at alternate venues. I have been able to think of 1, 2, 3, 4 that are in this area, most of which are a block away or less. One's a little further, but it's kind of a cool potential new spot, and I'm, kind of excited about it. So if we sell what I think we'll sell, we'll be here. But if you guys surprise me and you go nuts, I do have some alternate venues in mind for everybody. So book your tickets. Book them early. They have bookmarks that will give you the QR code, the very QR code that is on this poster right there, to let you go right to our website and register. Register yourself. If you're buying tickets for others, that's cool, but that's how we'll know to let you in, is because you've registered. Buy as many tickets as you want. Buy tickets for all your friends. That's great, but you got to be there to redeem all of those tickets. So come as a group. That's going to be the best way to get in. This is going to be so exciting. They are so cool. When I first heard their music, all I could think was, oh, Steel Eye Span. Steel Eye was a British pagan folk group in circa 1970. Look up Black Willow Starling, give them a listen, and then look up Steel Eye Span and give them a listen. Go to your favorite, music apps and find them. These guys are great, and they do some really beautiful songs. Some of it's definitely songs folk music I've heard from the past, and some of it is just this beautifully simple stuff. There's even a rendition of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star that I think is adorable, very listenable if you're an adult. And that's the only one that I think is really kid focused, but it's 2 albums. It's so cool. It's what we're playing for the most part when I'm here at the shop, just so y'all get a feel for it if you come in. But look them up. Book your tickets. We're going to have a blast that night. So that's coming up on October 8th. It's a Thursday night. Plan accordingly. You can come and grab a burger in the neighborhood at Francis, or run over to Holy Land, or there's a variety of Ecuadorian and other restaurants with a more Hispanic flair to them, Mexican, Ecuadorian, things like that. It's going to be a really fun time. And if you want to stop in at Bloomin' or any of the other local shops that sell some interesting little beverages that you can legally have, you're welcome to have, a little something while you're here. In any event, I'm coming up on my time, sadly. Can't believe I didn't even get to a weird topic. There's just so much to share with you guys today. It's so much fun. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching us on the replay. Everyone here, myself, the whole staff, we love the fact that you are an amazing, magical person. And the fact that we get to see and recognize that is such a privilege. We also appreciate, of course, the little magical things you get to do in social media land right here. So do the likes, the subscribes, the comments, all the things, the points, whatever you're watching us on, because we go out on 5 platforms live, and then there'll be some replay and some shorts later. So keep an eye out for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope we get to see you here at the shop in Minneapolis soon or online at magusbooks.com. The QR code, if you're seeing it, is going to take you to our events page. You will find the information about Black Willow Starling there and all of our classes and upcoming events as well. Have an amazing week, you guys, and I hope we get to see each other soon. Blessed be.